Chicago Med Season 10 finale trailer sets up another unexpected tragedy for Dr. Charles. NBC just released the trailer for the Chicago Med Season 10 finale, and it looks like Dr. Charles hasn't seen the end of personal tragedy after the recent death of his mother. None of the Chicago Med cast has it particularly easy, but Charles has had an especially challenging time recently with his mother passing away shortly after putting an end to the 30-year silence between the two. Heading into the end of Chicago Med Season 10, it looks like the grief caused by Daniel's complicated familial relationships has only just begun. In a new Chicago Med Season 10 finale trailer, per TV promos, Dr. Charles is faced with yet another brewing tragedy as his daughter is rushed to the hospital. Following what can only be assumed was a brutally devastating car crash, the season finale trailer for NBC's top-rated medical drama begins as a patient is wheeled onto the emergency floor and immediately recognized by Nurse Maggie as Anna Charles, the youngest daughter of Gaffney's respected psychiatric chief. Watch the clip below. After Margaret Charles died and Daniel was given the opportunity to reconnect with his daughters at her funeral, he learned that his mother had actually stayed in better contact with her grandchildren than he even knew. But that wasn't the last twist, as Anna revealed to her father that she has been in Chicago for 4 weeks after dropping out of Stanford. She walks away before they can discuss it, but any disappointment Charles might feel is sure to be tempered by her injury, especially after he openly expressed regret about the time he wasted on resentment during his mother's lifetime. While Charles is fighting his internal demons, Anna's fight for life may be compromised. Gaffney might band together to save a colleague's family under typical circumstances. But the Chicago Med Season 10 finale trailer also teases a hostage crisis in response to a young patient being bumped from the list for a lung transplant. The board is also angry at Sharon over Dr. Hayes' suspension, which could cause them to rethink the deal they struck at the end of Chicago Med's nurses' strike. In short, the number of hands free to assist Anna's treatment could be severely limited. Longtime Chicago Med fans have watched Anna grow up for several years at least 3 hair colors, so any threat to her life is going to hit the fan base nearly as hard as it hits Charles himself. With Sharon Goodwin's current Chicago Med romance accounting for her only scene in the trailer, Charles, and his emotional reaction to Anna's life-threatening injuries will carry a significant amount of the Chicago Med Season 10 finale's emotional weight. It's therefore important that the impact of her crash doesn't cease with a confirmation of whether she lives or dies. Even if Anna survives, Charles will have nearly lost his youngest within a short time of losing any hope of a relationship with his mother. With all 3-1 Chicago series renewed, that means there will be ample time to explore Charles' emotional fallout from Anna's injuries in Chicago Med Season 11. Whether this means increased guest appearances by his daughters as he seeks more hands-on interaction with them, or simply a shift in how he deals with grieving patients, it seems unrealistic to expect that Charles will come away from this storyline as anything other than a changed man. In a city where sirens rarely sleep and the emergency room pulses like the heart of Chicago itself, the Season 10 finale trailer for Chicago Med drops like a defibrillator shock straight to the chest. And at the center of the storm, once again, is Dr. Daniel Charles. But this time, the trauma isn't only clinical, it's personal, deeply personal. The trailer opens with a haunting piano melody overlaying shots of the bustling hospital. We see Dr. Crockett Marcel racing down a hallway. Dr. Archer is barking orders in the trauma bay. Maggie Lockwood clutches a clipboard with uncharacteristic tension. But then the focus shifts, slowing to a cinematic pause as we see Dr. Charles sitting alone on a bench outside the hospital, staring down at a worn leather notebook in his hands. A voiceover from Charles echoes across the trailer. Some wounds don't show up on scans. Some don't bleed, but they ache every day. Season 10 has already put the veteran psychiatrist through the ringer, emotionally and ethically. But the finale, based on this trailer, promises to push him to a breaking point. The mystery centers around a new patient admitted under murky circumstances. A young woman named Lily, found unconscious and with no identification, brought in by paramedics after a suspected overdose. But as Charles is called in for a psych consult, a shocking twist unfolds. Lily might not be a stranger at all. Quick flashes from the trailer hint at a connection. A grainy photo Charles finds among Lily's belongings. A shot of him speaking to Sharon Goodwin, his voice trembling. It's her, Sharon. It's my daughter's friend from college, the one who disappeared 5 years ago. The trailer cuts to a brief montage, a flashback of Dr. Charles visiting his daughter Anna during her college years. A missing persons flyer, a memory of a phone call. Dad, she just vanished. No one knows what happened to her. As Charles begins to piece together Lily's story, the weight of what he uncovers threatens to unravel him. The trailer hints at potential foul play, a possible trafficking ring, and a system that failed her. In one tense scene, Dr. Charles confronts a man in the ER waiting room, a social worker, or so he claims. "She's not safe with you," Charles growls, his usual calm demeanor cracked with fury. The tragedy being set up is layered. Not only is Lily's situation devastating, but Charles must also grapple with the guilt of past inaction. Could he have done more years ago? Was there a missed signal in one of Anna's tearful conversations? The emotional stakes are sky-high. Intertwined with Charles's narrative is a parallel arc that only amplifies the tension. Dr. Hannah Asher is seen treating Lily's withdrawal symptoms, forming a bond with the fragile patient. She doesn't trust anyone, but for some reason, she trusts you, Charles tells her in one scene. Asher, who has battled her own demons with addiction, becomes an unexpected lifeline for Lily. But at what cost? In a heart-stopping moment near the end of the trailer, we see Charles receive a call while driving. He pulls over, panic in his voice. "What do you mean she's gone?" Sirens blare as we cut to the ED in chaos. Lily has vanished again, right from under the hospital's watch. And then comes the gut punch. A brief blink and you miss it shot of Dr. Charles standing at a bridge, holding a scarf that clearly belonged to Lily. His eyes well with tears as Goodwin joins him. "We do everything we can," she says softly, "but sometimes it's not enough." Yet the trailer doesn't end with defeat. It hints at a mission renewed. The final seconds show Charles reopening an old case file, staring at a wall filled with clues. As the piano swells into a dark crescendo, we hear him say, "I'm not letting this go. Not again." NBC has been tight-lipped about the full extent of what's coming in the finale, but if the trailer is any indication, viewers should brace themselves for an emotionally charged hour that combines the best of Chicago Med. High-stakes drama, social relevance, and raw human vulnerability. Dr. Charles has always been the empathetic core of the hospital, the man who listens when no one else will. But now he's being thrust into a storyline that threatens to undo even his seasoned resilience. Speculation is already flying online. Fans wonder if Lily's reappearance might lead to a bigger storyline in Season 11, perhaps involving an underground network, a criminal conspiracy, or a revelation from Anna that changes everything. Others worry this could be a setup for Charles's departure, or worse. But if Chicago Med has taught us anything over the last 10 seasons, it's that Dr. Charles never gives up on a patient. Not when their pain echoes his own. Not when the system turns a blind eye. Not when the odds are stacked against him.